What is up, everybody? It's your boy, Mike here, back at it again with another episode of the podcast. We're here with my boy, Aryan. What is up? So, gotta be honest with you, we're recording this
At 1 a.m.
the day that we're supposed to upload this.
Yes.
So, you know. But hey, this is gonna be a hard hitting episode. I have topics. Aryan,
Mike has a
shocker,
lot to talk about.
doesn't, even though he's put numerous topics into our topics channel.
Well, I can bust out
Um,
something, bro.
yeah. I'm
Yeah,
sure you will,
yeah,
bud.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, so I was watching a YouTube video not too long ago. Shout out Wendigoon.
yeah. True.
I'll tell Aryan to put his channel link in the description because this dude makes some of the best content. He makes like video essay type stuff. The one he did that I'm going to talk about is about the Anthill Kids, which I'll get into it in a second. But so what this guy does, he makes a lot of like iceberg videos, like SCP icebergs, as well as just like interesting historical events, and like just things he finds interesting. So let's see if I can find one here in my watch later. So he has one on like Backrooms, and he goes through like the whole original Backroom series as it was uploaded on YouTube. He goes through and talks about like creepy things. Like there was one he talked about that I watched not too long ago. It was this like mystery where a bunch of boys disappeared and there was just no evidence of where they went. There's one on the Waco, Texas massacre. He did one on the Mandela Revelation. He's just such a good YouTuber. You guys really should check it out. It's just such quality content. It really is. So the Anthill Kids, it was a cult in,
Yo.
I think it was, let's see, when was it? Uh, I think the 70s. It says here. I have a website pulled up, and it was started by this guy, Roche Thoreau, I think is how you pronounce his name. Um, where they basically just lived in the middle of nowhere. I think it was like the wilderness in Canada, in like some isolated. They're kind of close to a village, but they were super isolated. And it was this dude, Roche Thoreau, who was like excommunicated from the church he was a part of, but he brought
Like John
along some
Wick.
of his. Yeah, yeah. That's Aryan's contribution for the episode.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed
All
that.
right, guys, I'm out.
Um, and so, and this guy was super charismatic. He had W Riz, let me tell you.
Hmm. Like Mike.
And so,
True.
no. And so he started this like foundation for quote unquote free thinkers. Um, and basically the whole point of the thing was where he could his reason for starting this commune was so that free thinkers, which were him and his followers, could like just talk to each other and live as equals. Where he was really the leader. So he forced his followers to like come and live with him in just the wilderness. Um, and he predicted that the world would end in like the early 80s, early 1980s. So he took these people just into the woods and they basically just lived and served him. They did everything he wanted because of the way he was. And all of the women who went, he married. I think there were 9 women that went. He married and had children with. He had 20 children from the 9 women.
Bro, what?
Yeah. Um, and all because he just wanted to increase his follower count, his subscribers.
Yeah, this is. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah. But this dude was a psychopath. He was
How's
absolutely
that?
insane. He was brutal with his like punishments.
Hmm.
So one of the ones that Wendigoon talked about in his video actually was this lady made a mistake. I forget exactly what it was because I watched this video a few days ago. She made a mistake, so Roche Thoreau comes in and cuts her hand off with just like a cleaver in front of everyone in like the meal hall or whatever it was. But the reason people followed him was because immediately after he did that, he would care for her. He would like take care of her, wrap her wounds, give her first aid and stuff like that. So people were all like, "Oh, he had to do it
Hmm.
because he's our leader." And one of the ones in this article I'm reading is he cut open the penis of a 2-year-old because he had difficulty urinating. When this 2-year-old wouldn't stop crying after the surgery, Thoreau had one of his followers to beat the boy until he stopped crying, and the boy obviously died. So,
Bro,
as
what?
punishment from Thoreau to this guy who he ordered to beat the kid, he castrated the guy and ordered everyone to say that the boy had been trampled by a horse, which is
That is not true.
brutal. Like, and when they first went to this commune, he was like, "Okay, guys, no drinking, no smoking, and everything you do has to go through me." That was one of the ways he maintained control in the commune. He started small, where people would ask him, he's like, "Hey, yo, do you mind if I, eat over here today?" But eventually it got bad, like progressively, where people had to ask him if it was okay to like sleep with their spouses. Not like, sleep with like, haha, we're in college, I'm gonna sleep with this person. Like, sleep in the same bed as them.
No way.
Yeah. He had control over everything. He was a total maniac.
Hmm.
And it's just such an interesting story. He explains it way better than I did, obviously. But it's just such a cool story. Though not obviously for them. Um, but
How do they have
it's just
documentation of all this?
people escaped because it was the 70s.
Oh,
It was
okay.
70s, 80s. People, it's not still going on.
No, man, I don't know. I wouldn't go into
People
those
escaped and
woods.
they spoke about it obviously. Um, and then uh, in 2000, um, he was sentenced to life in prison without parole, and then in 2011, Roche Thoreau was stabbed to death by his cellmate in prison because someone
Dang, he
escaped,
lived to
brought it.
2011.
Yeah, someone escaped, brought um, someone escaped, and it was actually the girl who had her hand removed.
Huh.
Right. So this girl, Gabrielle Lavallée, complained she had a toothache. Thoreau proceeded to remove her teeth with pliers, and later that night, he chased her with a knife and cut the tendon of one of her hands so she couldn't, use her hands. And
Uh,
then the next year in July, Thoreau impaled her hand on a table after she complained of stiffness, and then amputated her arm.
Bro,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. So, he also claimed that he had the power to resurrect people.
Mm,
Um, so there's this brutal story. So he in September of 1988, he ordered this person in this woman to get up onto a kitchen table, and he stripped her naked because she was complaining of a sore stomach. So Thoreau proceeded to punch her in the stomach, and then he shoved a plastic tube up her butt and
are you on the Wikipedia?
no.
Oh, I'm reading the Wikipedia right now. I see that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on a website called morbidology.com. Um, he shoved this tube up her butt and performed an enema, which is basically like you basically just it's used to wash out your intestines.
Hmm.
You fill it with generally it's water or a cleaning solution, but he did it with olive oil and molasses. Um, and then he proceeded to cut open her stomach and remove part of her intestine. Um, he removed part of the intestine, from her body, and then put the rest back in, and she was then stitched back up. The lady lived, but died the next day, obviously, because he just left her intestine open. And so, what this dude did, he claimed that he had the ability of resurrection. Is this part on the wiki for you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, he ordered the followers to remove this lady's uterus and remove a portion of her skull so that he could finish into her brain and bring her back to life. Obviously, this didn't work.
Dang.
Dude was insane.
This is quite crazy.
Yeah, dude's cringe.
It's like,
It
I
is.
don't know, it's just so wild that this is a
This is a
thing.
person. Yeah. No, it's awful.
I don't even know, there's nothing I can even add on to that. That's just,
No, yeah. It's. I just. Not, obviously, this is horrible. This is a horrendous thing that happened to these people. But it's just so fascinating that it was able to happen. As
right,
in the 70s and 80s, people weren't as knowledgeable as we are today, obviously, but people weren't idiots.
right.
Like, I don't know. Stuff like this, stories about cults and stuff, like Waco, which is a video that I'm really looking forward to watching. Um, Stuff like that is just wild.
Hmm.
How I don't understand how people can get
Wrapped up in all that.
brainwashed.
Yeah.
Yeah, brainwashed like this. It's just
Yeah, I feel
I
like it's
just don't
just at
get it.
some point they think something whack is going on here.
Yeah, you have to at some point be like, this probably isn't normal.
Right.
But
But
with what was his name? The guy who had everyone drink the Kool-Aid,
yeah.
the cyanide. What who was that?
Mm.
Kool-Aid cult. Oh, Jonestown.
Mm.
Like there were over 900 people that died
Yeah.
because this dude is just like, "Hey guys, drink this cyanide." Like he was like, "This is cyanide. You're gonna die," and they just did it. I just don't get how so many people can do that. Jim Jones, I think that's his name. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't get it. Maybe it's just because we're the free thinkers, Aryan.
Right. I mean, the thing is, like, obviously, like you're saying, initially he didn't, like, do that much, right? He, like, just
Mm-hmm.
controlled things little by little, and that just
Yeah.
escalates. But also, it's like, I don't, I guess people are just they just believe that he's right, that he's doing the best for them.
Yeah. I
And once
guess.
you
Yeah.
have that foundation of the thinking, everything else is,
Yeah.
like,
Then it.
justified.
Yeah. Nothing else matters after that point. I guess.
Like,
Yeah.
that's just crazy.
I don't know. Really is wild.
Wow.
Um. So because Aryan is still not gonna have a topic
Bro.
after I gave a topic, I've been here. Let me take
Working
that out of
on
the
the
topics channel.
railroad.
Road.
Oh, on the
Oh, the
long
live long
day.
day. I've been working on the
Railroad.
railroad. That's all I
Yeah,
know.
same.
Keck. Um, so you remember to put Wendigoon's channel in the description, just so if people watch and they want to check this dude out, because you guys really should at least watch like a video or two, because he's such an amazing YouTuber. He really is.
True.
And you can tell he really like is interested in the stuff he talks about. It's so cool. Um, what was I just gonna say? Ooh, yes. I actually started playing Warhammer, Total War
True.
Warhammer 2, and it's like it's actually really fun. I'm not good at it at all, but it's just so cool. Just the whole aspect of like, oh, I'm building this empire. Everything's under my control, and it's all on me whether I win this campaign or I lose it. Um, and like learning all the things that I could do better next time I do a campaign is just so cool. Um, and the lore, I've been getting into the lore a lot, like a lot more, and there's so much. Just because it's a what's the word for it? Um,
Dense.
community,
Oh.
huh?
Oh, it's just like the lore's
It's like a
dense.
it's well, yeah, it's what am I? It's a community like
It's
lore
like open
thing.
source.
Yes, that's it. That's it. Thank you. Whew, you couldn't have come in a bit sooner there, bud.
No, I was cooking.
A lot of the like lore is open source, other than obviously what is directly in the games.
Hmm.
It's all open source, so it's all community generate, and there's so much. I've been trying to like read it because there's so many books on it, and it's just all so fascinating. What I've like found, what I've read, it's just so cool. Um,
Yeah.
if you guys like want to, you really should like look into it. I'm not saying you have to, but it's just so cool. Um, like on the wiki for like list of the Warhammer fantasy novels, which is the one that I'm kind of interested in, it literally has hundreds of books. There's so much. It's just amazing. It really is. Um, I really think that you guys should look into it. Even I know if maybe it might not be your thing, but it's just so cool. Because there's endless content. Because the community is always going to be creating more and more.
True.
And there's also other like Warhammer games. There are also open source. There's Warhammer 40k. There's Total War Rome. Um, a bunch of like accurate historical games. There's just so much. If you guys are interested in like war type games, like building up your civilization, making stuff. Yeah, it's just so cool. And I'm glad that I've finally started like getting into it because it's really enjoyable. I gotta say. So, all right, Aryan's turn. Oh wait, he's not gonna have a topic.
Bro.
No, don't bruh me. Bruh topic.
Yeah, so one thing I like to talk about is how, you know, do you see Damian Lillard got traded to
Oh, shut your mouth.
the it was
I can't say I saw that.
it was
No.
not the Raptors. Hold up.
I think I saw that.
The Bucks, Milwaukee
Like
Bucks.
people have been posting about that on like the college story that I'm on. I almost said it.
Well, what college you're at?
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure I've said
Yeah, I think so.
before. Laval. Um, yeah, I definitely have said which college I'm
Yeah.
at, but that doesn't mean I need to say it again. People might have missed it.
Right, we don't want to keep doxing ourselves.
Yeah, real. Even though I don't really care.
Yeah, no, it was a crazy trade though. Yeah, I'm saying it really shakes up the game.
You think so? How do you think? How do you think
So,
it
yeah, I
shakes
think
it
it
up?
shakes up the game because, like, I mean, he was like, he already, he's rookie of the year previously. He was such an instrumental part of the Milwaukee Bucks, being, his position as point guard, which I don't know if I don't think I need to explain that. He got it. And basically, this trade really affects both teams here.
It does.
He actually dropped a rap about, yeah.
Really? Oh, that's kind of sick, actually.
Apparently he's like
Wow.
actually a rapper. Dame Dalla is his name.
Dame Dalla.
Yeah.
That's epic.
But I mean,
Interesting.
yeah, it's just a little some.
Mm-hmm. There's Aryan's contribution for the next 4
I
episodes.
mean,
Oh, new iPhone came out. Did you see
this
that?
is true. What, the 15?
Yeah, 15 as well as I think
Like 15 Pro Max.
15 like Pro Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Isn't Apple like not doing that good these days? I feel like opinion on
I
them
don't-
is changing.
Yeah, it's because people are finally starting to realize they are simply re-releasing the exact same things
I mean, yeah.
over and over.
Yeah, I think.
But I actually saw a video, and again, Moist Critical Charlie was talking about this.
Oh yeah.
Like on just a YouTube video, not on his podcast. Where he just broke it in his hands.
Oh, that's the video you sent.
Yeah, that's the one I sent
Uh-huh.
you there. He snapped it in half with his bare hands.
Yeah.
That's a bit. That is a not well constructed telephone. If you can do that, it's not built correctly,
I mean,
and it's not worth it.
but the thing is, like, I mean, they're not building the phone in mind to withstand that type of pressures. Well, like, okay, I didn't see the video you're talking about, like, of the guy breaking it.
Here, let me see if I can.
Yeah. I mean, if it's, like, broken easily, I mean, that's not good.
Yeah. Well, the phone itself didn't snap, but the glass, like, on the back just shattered.
Okay, I mean, that makes sense. It's just glass on the back.
Well, if I do that with my phone, like the one I have right now, it will not shatter.
Do you want to try it?
And I just did. I just did that as hard as I could.
Okay. Okay.
Like I know you're probably. Oh, he's not doing it. It didn't. I'm doing it as hard as I can, and I'm not like the
Mike's pretty weak.
strongest, but I'm not the weakest either.
Mm.
Excuse you. And there's like a bunch of articles that are like, oh yeah, it's breaking easy. How do you release a phone that does that? Now, to be fair, Devi and John, they both got it. The camera looks amazing. Like the camera quality is actually an improvement,
Wrong.
unlike the 13 to 14 or the 12 to 13 or the 11 to 12.
Okay.
Um, but it actually is an improvement. Um, so you can now zoom in from 5%, or the previous one it was zoom in from 5%, zoom in to 5%. Now you can zoom in to like 25%, I think. I
Huh.
could be wrong on that. No, yeah, but it's actually kind of wild how much you can zoom in. So I don't know, but yeah, I feel like public opinion of Apple is kind of falling.
Yeah.
What a like what does their like stock look like right now? Is it down or is
Their
it like
stock
well
over the last month.
it's probably it's probably up right now because the phone came out.
The stock over the last month is actually down 7%.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? What about like since the last week? Is it coming back up since the phone came out or no?
No, not really. It's actually gone
Well, to be
down.
fair. Yeah, I guess I'm not too surprised
Yeah.
given all of the issues that people have been finding.
Oh wait, there's actually a lot
But
of
to be
articles about this. Someone says like Apple red
yeah.
flags everywhere. Apple's stock set for worst month of 2023. The iPhone problem isn't helping. Wall Street
Yeah.
analyst.
All right. This is when you gotta buy.
Why would you buy when it's going down? Oh, you can short it if you think it's going to keep going down.
Well, no, buy it when it's low, right? And then sell when it goes back up. Why would you buy it when it's high?
No, I'm saying like it's
Chances
going
are
to keep going down, so don't buy right now.
Well,
We are
I know,
expert
but I mean, like,
financial advisors.
buy it when it's low. That's what I
Well, yeah,
meant.
yeah.
Because it's gonna keep going down for another month, probably.
All right.
Probably even longer. To
Everyone
be fair.
who's watching
So,
this, take this as gospel. This is true. Listen to us.
we know what we're
Buy
talking
all
about.
the stock.
We have a friend who
Oh,
invests. Oh yeah. Do not listen to a thing we say when it comes to investing.
What?
Do your own research.
Nah.
I mean, buy low, sell high. That's like actually just good advice when it comes to investing. But
Right.
don't like do the rest of what we tell you. Lamau.
True. True.
True. True. I mean, that's pretty true. Bro, I've gotten so I add a lot of videos to my liked videos
He
playlist,
does.
especially when I was younger. Younger is in like a year ago. I'm 20, by the way, guys. Double digits. Any baddies out there, hit me up. You know where to contact me.
In the comments of this video.
Exactly. The perfect place. Laval. Oh, there is another thing I want to shout out after this. What was I saying?
Uh,
Oh, didn't mean to do
you're
that.
20 years old.
What was happening before I was 20?
Apple
What do
stock.
Apple stocks buy low, sell high?
We're just straight up goldfish.
We got that short ADHD
Yeah,
memory,
actually.
Laval. Okay, so
I want to listen to this part back to just see how much of a goldfish we are.
no, yeah, me too. What time is this at? It's at basically 28, 27
Yeah.
minutes. So there
Oh, you're adding
is
videos to your
this.
like videos.
Oh, yes. Whew.
Oh yeah.
Wow. So I have added many videos to my liked videos
Yes.
playlist, and I've been trying to, cut down on that. And I actually have stopped liking every video because that's what I would do. I would literally click on a video, watch 4 seconds of it, and like it. I don't know why, but I would.
Yes.
And so I'm finally going through and removing them. And I've been doing this for probably 2 weeks now. Every day I would come in, just kind of remove a bunch, 400. I think 2 days ago I probably removed close to 1,500. Only 2 days ago, when I removed that hell of a lot of videos, did I finally get down to where I could see the amount of videos in the liked videos playlist. Because what YouTube does, so that it doesn't just overload your computer when you open, or your phone when you open your liked videos playlist, is they limit it to 5,000 videos are available at any time. Granted, you do have to scroll all the way down
Mm-hmm.
through everything to see those. Um, but they're in the playlist. That's it. Goes up to 5,000. Doesn't it go first?
I
Doesn't
don't
it go
think they
further?
expect anyone to get to 5,000.
Watch me.
Well, yeah.
So I've finally gotten down, and I'm currently at 1,400. And it just feels so nice getting this down so low. I don't know what it is. But it's just so good. I don't know why I've been talking about this, but it's something that's happening, so I'm like, hey, I'll talk about it.
Actually,
Why
the
not?
mic is finally contributing.
Okay,
That's
buddy.
just real.
Okay, so the other thing I want to talk about that I just came to my mind because I was scrolling through my liked videos playlist, removing some, and I saw content that I remembered that I really enjoyed. Um, I think I've spoken to you about it, way long ago. So there's this author that I really like. His name is Jack Townsend. And he has this series. Originally, it was kind of like a creepypasta type series, um, stuff like that.
Well,
But eventually, it turned into an actual book series. So it's about this guy. His name is Jack Townsend. Like the character's name is Jack Townsend, um, and he has. Let's see. He has fatal familial insomnia,
is this the gas
which
station?
is
Ah,
yes. This guy has fatal familial insomnia, which is if you fall asleep, you die.
wait, what?
Yeah. You get so sleep deprived because you physically cannot sleep. You get so sleep deprived that if you do fall asleep, you will just die
So,
because your body will enter such a deep sleep that it will just shut down, basically.
it's incurable, has an average duration of 18 months, ultimately leading to death.
Yeah. So if you have it, you
Yeah.
die, basically, which sucks, obviously. But so it's about this dude who has this disease. He works the night shift at this weird gas station where creepy things happen. There's a six-legged raccoon who's radioactive who lives out back, stuff like that. It's just a weird place. There's a cult that lives in the woods. I think they're called the
The Anthill Kids?
Mathematists. Nope. Um, and it slowly just keeps getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And especially later on, he kind of starts thinking, is it getting, do I think it's getting weirder? Because I'm slowly getting more and more sleep deprived? Or is it actually getting weirder and
So he's
weirder?
thinking
And it's just,
is this the real life or is this just fantasy?
yeah.
Caught in a landslide.
He doesn't sing it, but yeah, that's basically what
Okay.
he's saying. And it's just a really fascinating like story, and like the way the dude wrote it is just it's just so phenomenal. You guys should check it out. It's Jack Townsend. You can find him on Amazon, or I think he has his own website actually. Um, and there's a bunch of different like types of stories. There's a Christmas one where they
Yay.
meet Donald
Wait,
Glover.
what?
There's Halloween. There's one where they're at like this manor where it's run by like aliens or some stuff like
Yeah, I
that.
was about to say some poop.
Um, and there's hours of content, genuinely. If you want to watch the videos of people like narrating them, there's Mr. Creepypasta did a really good job actually. Shout out him, or just read the books like I did. They're truly phenomenal. I have all of the books, and I've read all of them multiple times, and I enjoy it every time. I really do. So check that out if you guys are interested, because it's super cool. It really is.
Yeah, I
So,
second that.
did you read
Nope.
them? Oh, I gave it to John, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll read it," but then he just didn't.
Dang.
Keck. So, 36 minutes. Aryan has contributed 40 seconds.
That's cap. Yeah.
No. Oh, that's right. Because you were looking for the information for 2 minutes.
Bro.
It's just real.
No, this isn't.
Yep, it is. What about the? So there's this One Piece card game Aryan's been playing lately. You want to talk about that?
I mean, sure. Um,
Okay, so
so
talk.
basically, there's a card game for One Piece. That's pretty great. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My thing is like, Mike keeps telling me to watch One Piece, and I'm like, bro, it's like too long.
Mm-hmm.
But like, my roommate Brian is really into it, and he's playing the card game too. He's really into the card game. So then, I thought, all right, let me try it out. All right, I'm trying it out. Game's actually fun. It's like simple to pick up. Still a lot of depth though. There's like,
Here, so does Junwei
nah,
watch One Piece as well, or
he don't
okay?
watch like any anime.
Damn.
Um, there's like a lot of variety to it. So like one thing that's cool is there's like archetype system to it. So there's 6 colors like black, yellow, blue, red, purple, and green, each with their own play style. So like whatever deck you want
Mm-hmm.
to play, is like very different. And then even within those colors, you can use different leaders to have different synergies with groups, and it all ties into the lore too. Like characters have abilities relating to what like what they are in the show,
Mm-hmm.
like from what Brian
Yeah.
told me and stuff. Like there's Marco the Phoenix guy, and
Yeah.
like whenever he dies, he's an effect like you can trash or discard a card and then bring him back, which like goes with the Phoenix, you know. And so
Yeah.
like, anyways, I get into the card game, and I don't know, seeing the characters, like just playing the game, not even knowing much of the story, is kind of getting me into it. Like I watched a movie with Mike the other day, the Gold One Piece Gold. Like that was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
It and I gotta say, it actually is a very good movie.
It was
I
solid.
I think it's probably one of the better One Piece movies. I don't think it's my favorite, but it is quite good.
Yeah,
Go.
and like, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't think I'm about to watch One Piece because I'm still just on the side of like it's too long. There's the One Piece thing. That's a
Hmm.
community made kind of uh, suggested watch. What would you say?
Yeah, it basically it's for people who are like One Piece is too long. So what it does is it cuts out a lot of the like reaction scenes, like someone hits a cool ability and then all the people around have like a reaction
Mm,
face and they show that for 3-4 seconds, and it cuts it down a lot. I wish I could get to the actual
hold up.
website, but my college blocks the website.
Yeah, I can look at
Um,
it. So I mean, it's okay here. I mean, for example, the first arc, Romance Dawn, it's they cut it down to 4
Dawn.
episodes. Then like
Yeah.
Orange Town is 3, Syrup Village is 6, Game On is 1.
Well, you Gaimon is one
Oh, it is.
episode
Okay.
anyway.
What's like a
Yeah.
really? Is there like some long?
Go to look. Do Skypia.
Skypia is 16.
Oh my. Okay, on. I'm looking on
Yeah.
Crunchyroll right now to see how long it is, so I know. Skypia, 71.
Right. So they cut down 71 to 16. That really shows like how much they cut down
Yeah.
stuff, but it's not like I mean,
They only cut out like stuff that doesn't affect the
right.
story. And I get it. I completely understand why they do it. But as someone who has watched it completely, I'm fully caught up. Episode, I don't know, 1077, I think it is on right now. I'm not 100% sure. It was those like small moments of like seeing how they react and watching them grow and react to those individual like moments. I just it just really hit
Right.
different, you know. Um, but I totally get people wanting to watch One Piece because it's long. I
Right.
completely agree. Um, I've had to stop because I'm rewatching it right now, rewatching One Piece. I've had to stop a few times because I'm like I'm gonna get burned out. It's too
Mhm.
long, and I've stopped watching for a month. I get back in, and it's like when I get back in, I realize how much I love it, and I just can't stop watching it. And then I'm like, I'm gonna get burned out again, and it's. I think that pacing it so that you watch maybe I don't know 1, 2 episodes a day. That's really the best way to do it. You know, instead of watching like I don't know 50 episodes in a
Yeah, not
week
like
and
my
then not watching for 2 months. You know, I think that that really I think that that's really like the best way to do it. Just pace it properly 1, 2, 3 episodes a day, and you will love it. You genuinely will. To anyone
right.
watching, not just you. Um, but you know, I get it.
For some
I get not wanting to watch it because it's so long.
mm, for some concrete numbers on how much faster One Piece is, they say it's 45% faster, and they have like total 380 episodes. Out of Mike's at like 1,070, which is like the full thing.
Yeah, about that.
So, but like,
Yeah.
wait, I had two things to say here. Oh yeah, one thing was like I don't know from multiple opinions, like from Moist Critical, from Brian. Brian actually he said he was like very skeptical starting it, like from all the hype around it. But now he
Mm-hmm.
says of course he's like super into it. Same thing with like Moist
Yeah.
Critical. But my thing is like Brian and Charlie both said the same thing, which is like the first 200 episodes are like a bit too slow. And it's like you can't just tell me that 20% of the story is boring and not that good and then be like, yeah, but anyway, once you get past that though, it's good. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I get it. In my opinion, I'm looking at Crunchyroll
Yeah.
right now. My favorite arc, or other than Dressrosa, which is quite frankly, I think the greatest arc in the entire show. It's phenomenal. It's super long, but it's
Long.
phenomenal. As well as Water 7.
Dang, not Marineford.
Summit War is good, but Summit War is too long, in my
Uh,
opinion. It's 132 episodes. It's just a lot. It's amazing. It really is. But it's just long. And there are times where it gets boring. East Blue, the first 61 episodes were my favorite episodes.
Really?
Genuinely. Because I think it's because post rewatching, I couldn't stop watching them. They were so fun. And I get it. They're kind of slow at times, but there's so many more like cute moments, like cute reaction faces from the Straw Hats when, Luffy or Zoro does something stupid,
Which is often.
which which aren't really in it post time skip. And it might just be because I'm nostalgic and I missed those starting episodes. But I really enjoyed the first few arcs. Probably up until Thriller Bark, honestly, which I hate that arc.
Oh yeah.
Which that's up until episode 326. Those are my favorite episodes in the show. And I know that that's 326 episodes, but I think that early series is probably one of the best that One Piece is. It definitely falls off with Thriller Bark. Thriller Bark's awful. Summit War, it picks back up way hard.
Oh yeah.
And then after Summit War, it's good. Fishman Island isn't the best. Neither is Punk Hazard. Dressrosa, amazing. Whole Cake Island, amazing. Like that's
There's
a
a Whole
really
Cake
good
Big Mom?
arc.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zoe, that one's super cool. That one's a lot of like lore, honestly. Not a lot really goes on in that arc, to be completely honest with you, but it's still super cool because you learn more about a bunch of the characters. You get to see other characters from like around the world that they've met and interacted with, like reacting to how far they've gotten. Whole Cake, really good, really emotional. And then the Reverie, that one's also really good. That's short because it's kind of just like, hey, recap, blah blah blah. And then Wano
God.
is phenomenal. The animation is topping the charts everywhere, even on like normal TV show ranking websites. It's so good. I don't know. I know that you think that I always think you should watch One Piece. I really do. It's such a journey, and I know it's long, but in my opinion, it is 100% worth it. Because my favorite show of all time is Assassination Classroom.
Sure.
Every time I watch that show, I cry at the end of it. It's perfect. It's a phenomenal show. But One Piece has so many more of those moments. And Oda's ability to create this world and connect everything into each other. Like, even now, I'm getting in the arc I'm in, Summit War, which is about episode 387. I'm getting connections from episode 387 all the way back to episode like 40
Sheesh.
or 50. Like, this dude made these connections from this massive jump, and the whole show is full of connections like that. Every character has such a good personality, whether they're the main character, the villain, a side character who's in it for, I don't know, 30, 40 episodes, even side characters who are in it for 5 episodes. They just have such rich personalities that, and the universe is so well written and well developed. It
Homie is a One Piece salesman.
it's just, there's something for everybody in One Piece. Humor, plenty of it. Action, plenty of it. Drama, yeah, you can find drama in there. There's not as much because it's not obviously a drama show. Probably not horror, really. There's some like funny jump scare type things. Adventure, it just watching it is an adventure. It really is. Because especially for the main characters, like the newest character that's just been introduced now, I'm rewatching so I know all of this. His growth from seeing him now to seeing him when the weekly episodes come out every Sunday, seeing how different he is, how much more he knows that he's not going to be abandoned by the Straw Hats, which was one of his biggest fears when he first joined because of his backstory, which I won't get into for spoilers. Seeing how much more he knows that he's trusted and wanted, it's amazing. Seeing how much Zorro has grown as a swordsman and put his whole life into it and is willing to die for his goal. Seeing Sanji realize that his past is coming back to haunt him and he doesn't want that to happen and he's willing to die for it. Seeing Usopp go from a sniveling idiot who's the weakest on the crew to really being useful sometimes and being a man who stands up for what he wants and what he knows is right. Seeing Robin go from I'm going to sacrifice my life so that you guys can live to wanting to live with them and wanting to be their friends. There's everyone is just watching the journey of their personal growth and their the way they mesh together as a crew and watching how that just grows. It's wonderful. It really is. And I think that it, other than Assassination Classroom, One Piece is, in my opinion, my favorite thing that I've ever watched. It really is. It's because even in the movies, there are lore accurate characters. The movies most of the time aren't canon. This newest one that came out, One Piece Red, which is pretty good. That one I think was kind of canon. The events themselves I don't think are canon, but the outcome was, as far as I'm aware. Even characters in movies, like you saw, remember in Gold, the villain?
Yeah. What about him?
Yeah, we it was a 2-hour movie, and we got his backstory. We knew his motivations. We knew why he did what he did, and we knew why he was a bad guy in a 2-hour movie.
Yeah. I mean,
and it felt like we knew this character.
yeah, but didn't every movie set up characters in 2 hours?
I mean, well, yeah, but these deep characters, you know, like, because I wouldn't say that he was really the easiest. He wasn't like the most difficult character to like set up, but the way they set it up, you could understand why he did what he did instead of being like, oh, he's doing this, oh, he's doing that. You knew why he was doing it.
The one thing,
Even though his backstory was just a bunch of images and still flashes, really, that went on for 30 seconds. You still knew exactly why he did what he did and his motivations from younger.
my thing with like, what do you call it? I don't know, like antagonists. I guess you can like sympathize with or what is.
You start thinking that
No,
they're
no.
right.
Not that they're right. I'm just saying like.
Bro's a Doflamingo
Look,
apologist.
I mean, he's plug walking. He's repping it. He's repping the Bloods.
Real. Exactly.
But it's like, oh dang, he's like a bad person. But oh, like all he wanted was a family, or like, oh, this guy's bad, but like, oh, he had no friends when he was a kid. It's like, it feels like they just put a sad backstory in a bad guy, and it's like, dang, that's deep. But that doesn't like do anything for their current self. Like, what does that matter that that's some sad backstory? There's some justification. They're like killing people now in the story. So like that doesn't matter. So
Yeah,
I'm like, what's the point of the
I
backstory?
agree. To build
Yeah,
this
but it doesn't
character
like matter.
instead of just being oh, I like money. Why do you like money? I don't care that you just like money. I want to know why you like money. I want to get to know you as this
I mean,
character.
sure.
I want to know your motivations instead of like, oh, you're evil.
Okay, what
Okay,
about like Dio from JoJo?
I want to know why.
He's literally
Dio
evil.
was just
That's just his personality, and then he got the stone mask, and he's
yeah,
just bad. But still, everyone likes him.
yeah. Well, the thing with
He just has like good flair as
I
a
think
character, but there's no backstory to it. Like,
yeah, he got
yeah, he
Riz.
got Riz, and I was saying like,
Well, his backstory was that he hated his father and he wanted to be what his father never could, and his way of doing that was through cruelty and just power. That was Dio's backstory.
wait, they had a backstory for him.
Yeah, remember there were a few episodes. There was, I think, one part of an episode where he was like playing chess in a bar, and he went home, and his dad would just like screamed at him for not buying him booze. He bought him the medicine he needed, and Dio later was like, "Okay, I'm going to," or like while he was there, Dio was thinking, "I'm gonna be what you
Wait, did
never
he kill
could."
his dad?
I don't think so. I think his dad died from like alcohol poisoning or overdose or something. I mean, he might have. I wouldn't have been surprised. But he was like, through whatever means necessary, I will be what you were never able to be. That
I mean,
was
okay,
Dio's backstory.
I guess. But still, yeah, I don't know. I think for me, it's just still that it gets cool to have, of course. Like it's lore, it builds the character, but at the same
Yeah.
time, it doesn't like I don't know, it doesn't like do anything, right? Like Doflamingo, he's committed literally every crime known to man, and it's like, why
Basically.
did he do that? I don't know. Like, what's his backstory? Well, what sad thing happened to him as a
His
kid?
backstory. So he was a celestial dragon, which are they basically are like, yeah, I'm better
Oh,
than everyone else. They basically run the world through like because they live in Marijo, which is basically like the
okay.
heaven on earth, the perfect civilization, more or less. He was born in as a celestial dragon, but his dad wanted to know what it was like to live a
Hmm.
normal life. So he brought his family to like a normal village and was like, "Hey, we're gonna live here." The villagers kicked them out because they're like, "You're celestial dragons. We hate you. You've
Okay.
abused us for generations." And they went back to Marie Jo to live as celestial dragons. And the celestial dragons,
No, they're like, we don't want you.
yeah, exactly. You're common filth now that you've
Hmm.
given up the celestial dragon name. They strung them up, they shot arrows at them, they lit their house on fire while they were there. And Doflamingo was like, this is it. He killed his father
Based.
because his father basically ruined the life he had, and he committed to doing what he wanted when he wanted through whatever means necessary. He's just an evil character. That's who he is
Right.
in the show. He even says like one of the best speeches in One Piece is from Doflamingo. It's his "What is
Okay.
justice" speech. Let me see if I can
What
find it.
is justice?
What is justice? Doflamingo speech.
Absolute justice.
Is that what it's called? Those who stand at the top determine what's wrong and what's right. This very place is neutral ground. Justice will prevail, you say. But of course it will. Whoever wins this war
That
becomes
is real. That's
justice.
very real.
And it's so he's so right in a
Hmm.
lot of ways. Like that speech. He's
Yeah, that's real.
perfectly right. because he's experienced it. He knows what he's talking about. Earlier in that speech, he's like, children who have only known war see the world differently than people who have only known peace. I've seen both. I know the world. And he's the best villain in the show. Easily. Because his backstory, he went from having anything he ever wanted to nothing to back to having anything he ever wanted. And it's not so that you can sympathize with him. It's so that you know who he is and why he needs to be defeated. Other than, oh, he's evil. Okay,
I mean, that's true.
cool. Say if it was like a DC movie, right? And you walked into the theater, you're like, oh, say it's Dark Knight, right? One of the best movies ever. You walk in, and at the start, Batman is there looking at the camera. Yeah, the Joker's the bat. He just straight up says, Joker's bad guy, and then they just fight for
Okay, wait, but
3
my thing
hours.
though is like, yeah, even in that movie,
That would be a
Joker
shit
has
movie.
no backstory at all. Completely zero.
Well, I think. Well, that's a bit different because there's also been the backstory. That was, to be fair, that was kind of a bad
That's
example
actually a
because
good
people
example.
know who the.
Because that's showing how no backstory is required for a villain to be good.
Well, also people know who the Joker is, though.
Right, but the backstory doesn't contribute anything to him.
Well,
In the movie,
you also thought there was no Dio backstory.
that just shows how relevant it is.
To be fair, it was like 10 minutes in
Okay.
one
I mean,
episode.
okay,
I'll
here's
give
my
it to
thing.
you.
Okay, backstory is like not bad.
Yeah.
It's good to have. It's like good lore. But I feel like it's just like, oh, something bad happened when he was a kid. Oh, he went through some unjust circumstances and now he's like ruthless. Now he's cold-blooded. And it's like, okay, like cool. But that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like those circumstances don't justify anything. Like he's just still a bad person. So it's like, what am I getting from that? Like, again, like you said, it's to show how, like, who their character is, like their growth or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I just don't read books as much from like an analyzation perspective. It's just more entertainment to me.
Well, yeah, I do the exact same. I don't. Every book I read, I'm not like, oh, why did he do exactly this? I read it because I enjoy it, and knowing this backstory of these characters. Why is it different for the good guy than it is the bad guy?
Why does the good guy need backstory?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess they don't either.
Why not?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think backstory really does as much.
If I had no backstory for, like, Iron Man, I wouldn't think he's a good character. I'd be like, oh, okay, you have a suit. How did you get the suit? Tell me about how you've developed into the character you are now. Say any good guy in One Piece. If I didn't know what Luffy's backstory is, or Nami's backstory before she joined the Straw Hats, I'd be like, I don't understand you as a character. I don't understand your motivations for doing what you're doing. I don't understand the way you act. All I know is what you're doing right now. That's why backstory is so important. Like with the Kaido backstory, they didn't really give him a lot, which I'm kind of disappointed by. I wish they gave him more, because I think that he really could have had one of the coolest backstories in the show. Big Mom,
Charlotte,
for example, and I will go into it what her backstory is. So she was a giant, obviously.
She still is.
Who wouldn't stop. She always wanted food, but she was so strong, even as a child. She could beat up any giant.
Did she accidentally kill
And so one day they...
Okay.
No, I'll get to that. And she got exiled to an island where she met this lady who took her in as her daughter, as well as a bunch of other, like, orphaned kids, basically. And you learn later the lady who took her in had nefarious, like, tidings. She was basically a child, like a trafficker for the slave trade that goes on in the One Piece world. Um, but one day, it's her birthday. And so they make Big Mom's favorite treat. I don't remember what it was. It might have been like croquettes or something like that. And in her fervor of eating the croquettes, she eats her like friends that are there, the people that she's lived with and grown up with for years. She doesn't realize because she was in that fervor, and she just thinks that they left her. At least that's what was implied. It's never explicitly stated, but that's really what was implied with what happened. And so now this is why she has the family she has, because she never wants to be alone again, like she was in those moments of her living stranded on this island, not knowing where people went, not knowing what to do, because she's still a child. So her whole backstory contributes to why she's the pirate she is now. It's because she doesn't want to be alone. That's why she has like 160 kids, or how? Let me look up how many kids she has. How many kids does Big Mom have? 46 sons, 39 daughters, 43 husbands, 85 kids. Because she wants the family that she lost on that island. Because she doesn't know what happened. She doesn't know what happened to them. All she knows is that they weren't there anymore. That's why she is who she is. And if I didn't know that, I wouldn't understand why she acts the way she is, why she's so protective of her family, why she wants everything to go her way, because she doesn't want it to go bad like it did on that island. And to be fair, she probably is one of the more fleshed out characters, one of the more fleshed out villains in One Piece, just because she is such a massive character.
Literally and figuratively.
But, yeah, like, if I didn't know that, there wouldn't be parts of that arc that I would have understood that were crucial to the story. So, I don't know. I just think that the backstory enhances the enjoyment because I get to know this character more. That's just me personally.
Actually, I'm looking at it on Reddit right now. Someone's saying, like, the trope of giving all your villains a tragic backstory is overused. Like, it's a rant some guy went on. And in the comments, someone actually used the exact example of Doflamingo. He's like, well, there's Doflamingo. We learn about his struggles and horrific childhood. And we understand, but we never sided with him. At the end of the day, he still deserves to go to Impel Down.
Oh, 100%.
Right. I mean, true.
It's not so that you can agree with these characters. It's so that you know why they have to lose.
Yeah.
And despite how they are so invested in what they believe is right, it truly isn't right. What they want might be decent. Doflamingo wanted the Doflamingo family to be successful. The way he did it, awful. Big Mom, she wanted her family. She didn't want to be alone. The way she did it, through absolute dictatorship and killing everyone who disagreed with her brutally, bad way to go about it.
Yeah.
Crocodile. He's different. We don't actually know his backstory. He's, I think, one of the only villains in the show whose backstory we don't know. He just wanted to rule a country. That's it. And then he wanted to take over the world. Not having a backstory for him, I think, is better. Right. Because he just is evil. He wants bad things. Now, there's another one who is also kind of part of Big Mom, Katakuri,
Yo.
who, if we didn't have his backstory, we wouldn't get him as a character. We wouldn't understand why he's as strong as he is, nor some of the abilities he has, nor the way he acts the way he does during Luffy's fight. I think I've told you the backstory. Basically, part of his family, the first child of Big Mom, Brule, was attacked because of Katakuri. So Katakuri vowed to never let that happen again and to protect his family from anything. So he developed the most advanced observation hockey in the show that we know so far. He can see into the future. It's so advanced. He is just so strong. He covers his face and never shows anyone in what his face looks like, because that's why his family was attacked. He's probably the strongest of the Big Mom pirates, other than Big Mom, obviously. And he's also the most honorable. At the end of his fight with Luffy, he says, "Come back someday, because I think you have the potential to beat Big Mom and free the world of her tyranny."
He's a real one.
Because he knows Big Mom's family to him, but he knows that she isn't a good person. And it's without his backstory, we wouldn't understand why he does what he does. You know?
Right. I mean, I guess it's just a case by case basis on if it's done well or not.
Yeah.
We sum up 20 minutes. Yeah, it just depends. I mean, that's what it comes down to. But like,
yeah, I guess.
I get what you're saying. I mean, if it's written well, it adds to it. If it's just thrown in there, it doesn't add to it. Like,
yeah.
It doesn't always.
Which, going back to being about One Piece, they're all written well. I gotta say, they're written well. They all add to the story. Honestly, sure, some of the backstories might be like a few episodes. I think the longest one is like the Kozuki Oden backstory, but that one's really important because he's probably the most important character in the show in Wano. That one I think goes on for like 25 episodes, but it's really interesting because he's such a fun character. He's a blast. You know, it's, I don't know. Especially for the good guys, it's extremely important. And I also think that it just is crucial for bad guys to have reasons for why they do what they do.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, people view things differently. Completely up to you if you don't really see it that way. So.
Yeah, maybe it's just an opinion thing. I mean, I don't think I've ever like read something where someone has some tragic backstory and I'm like, wow, this sucks. But I'm just like bringing it up as a point of like, I don't know if it adds much to it. Like we said with the Joker example, or like, I don't know. I don't think like Thanos ever had a backstory in the movies. He did. Or
He
what was
did.
his thing? Was he just abused as a child?
So he was. No. I don't know exactly what it didn't go into it a lot, like in the movies, which is all I really know. His planet was severely overpopulated, and that's why he's called the Mad Prophet, because he spoke like our planet's gonna die if we don't stop the growth of this population, and everyone was, "You're insane, you're dumb, you're wrong," and he turned out to be right. And he vowed that he wouldn't let it happen to the rest of the universe. That was his backstory.
Okay.
He is a bit of like a broken hero because he wants to do the right thing. He's just obviously an awful way to go about it. So.
Yeah. Oh well.
I think if you paid more attention to what backstories are in shows and movies, you might find them slightly
Well,
more
I'm not saying
important.
they're bad. I mean, like I said, I don't think there's been an example where I'm like, this is like bad. But just like,
Hmm.
I'm kind of just bringing it up as a topic.
Yeah, well, that was a good topic.
We chatted.
We
All right,
we
this is an
talked.
hour 15. I think it's our
Yeah.
longest episode. Yeah,
Oh, by far, yeah. Which, I mean, so be it. I think it was
kind
a
of banger
pretty good
episode.
episode. Yeah. All right, everybody. Just quick update. I am
Single and ready to
currently
mingle.
removing. Yes, I've been removing episodes from my liked video playlist
Oh
this
yeah,
entire time.
that could
Um,
be the video while we're. You could have recorded that and put that
Could
as
it?
like the video for the podcast.
Yeah. And give me
One.
1 second here. Okay. And it has been reduced from at the start of this podcast. It was at like 1475. It is now at 924. So big progress. So yeah, we will see you guys in the next episode. Hope you
Watch
enjoyed.
One Piece.
And remember, cat.
Watch Wendigoon.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it.
Read gas
Real.
station stories.
Read. Yeah, read Tales from the Gas Station by
Yep.
Jack Townsend. Um, Remember, you can catch us every Friday, 5 p.m., as long as Aryan gets this edited
Well,
and uploaded on time. Um, and we will see you in the next one. Bye,
doodles.
everybody. Have a great day.